Hello students, welcome back. Today's video is for class 6 and it's a continuation of the video, the lesson that we had done the last time, that is Mahavira and Buddha, the great preachers. So in the last few videos we've seen how Mahavira and Buddha led their lives and how they preached people on different values of Buddhism and Jainism. Today let us look into how Buddhism grew throughout India and how they saw rapid growth in Buddhism. So there are various features that contributed to the growth of Buddhism. The first one is simple teaching. Buddha's teaching was quite simple. It wasn't complicated like the Brahminical rituals that people followed earlier. So he believed in simple rituals that did not have a lot of expenditure or a lot of things to do with a Brahminical religion as such. So it was very simple and people would easily practice such rituals. So he had simple teachings in his for his followers in whatever he taught. The second one is a simple language. Unlike the Brahminical community or Brahminical religion where they had scriptures that were only in Sanskrit, Buddha was against usage of Sanskrit language. He believed that the common people should be able to understand and read the scriptures. Hence, he used the common language that people would understand, that is a Pali language. The next one is attack on the institution of caste. Gautam Buddha was completely against discrimination on the basis of caste, class or creed. So he preached people on how they should not discriminate people and how they should be treated equally. The next reason why Buddhism saw a rapid growth is because of the quality that Gautam Buddha had in him, the leadership quality that he imbibed in him. Gautam Buddha was seen as a model of calmness and serenity. He was the master of art of communication. People would get driven towards the way he preached them, the way he taught them about different values of life. So he was a great leader as he made or he influenced a lot of people to follow Buddhism. The next cause is the Buddhist Sangha. Buddhist Sangha basically is a Buddhist organization. The word Sangha itself denotes that it is an organization. Now, a lot of people joined the Sangha. Mostly they were men and therefore they were called as the bhikshus. And the women who joined, they were called as bhikshunis. Now, they were asked to live in a monastery which was called as viharas, where they had to follow strict discipline. They could not live with their family. They had to live away from their family and they had to follow certain rules that all the followers of Buddhism would. The next point is royal patronage. Now, there were a lot of royal kings, rulers who followed Brahminical religion and they followed the rituals that they practiced. However, because there was a rapid growth in Buddhism and because they were convinced with what Buddha taught, they started following Buddhism. The great rulers like Ashoka, Kanishka, Harsha, they embraced Buddhism. The enthusiasm of the Buddhist monasteries led to a rapid spread of Buddhism. So a lot of people who joined this monastery, the missionaries who were there, they had a lot of enthusiasm in them and they followed everything that Gautam Buddha taught them. And this helped all these rulers to understand Buddhism better and therefore they started following Buddhism. The next point is the Buddhist Council. Buddhist Council basically means a group of people who had their meetings on various issues pertaining to the life of people in various places. And they discussed upon such issues and they came up with the solutions to the problem that people had. So they had these meetings at different places. There were 4 such councils and they were called on different occasions. So basically, the Buddhist council were these groups who held meetings and discussed upon the various issues and the problems that people had. The last point here is the Buddhist universities. The University of Nalanda, Taxila and Gaya became very important during that time as they started preaching or teaching people, or they started educating people on the different aspects of Buddhism, of how they should imbibe Buddhism, how they should embrace Buddhism, and they should follow it. And therefore, these points led to rapid growth and spread of Buddhism all over India. However, there was a point when during the region of Kanishka, when the Buddhist council were having their meeting, when they were discussing upon certain issue that was in Kashmir, they saw a difference in opinion amongst the council, which led to split off Buddhist Sangha into two groups, which were called as the Mahayanas and the Hinayanas, who came out to be a different group altogether, but they were a part of Buddhist Sangha. So they were called as the Mahayana sect and the Hinayana sect. Now let us understand how these sects function and what role they played in the society. The Mahayana Buddhism, they believed that Buddha was an incarnation of God. So they believed that just like Lord Rama and Krishna, Gautama Buddha was also an incarnation of Lord. And therefore they started worshipping him. They started idolizing him. They believed in the effectiveness of worship and devotion to Buddha. So they believed that they had to worship Gautama Buddha, they had to idolize him, and they did that with the help of different idols that they made of Gautama Buddha that represented Gautama Buddha. They worshipped the image of Buddha and prayed for forgiveness of sins and for salvation. So they prayed to Gautama Buddha just like they would pray to the other gods. And they asked for forgiveness of sin and asked for salvation. Salvation basically means nirvana, which they believe that every individual needs to attain at least once in their life. They introduced rituals and ceremonies. So they came up with different rituals and ceremonies in order to worship Gautama Buddha. The image of Buddhi Sattva was made and worshipped. So just like I had told you before, they made statues of Gautama Buddha, they made idols of Gautama Buddha statues, and they started worshipping him. They adopted Sanskrit for writing scriptures. The students, if you remember in the first two videos, I have mentioned that Gautama Buddha and Mahavira were strictly against the use of Sanskrit language because they believed that it is important for the local people, for the general people to understand the scriptures, to be able to read the scriptures, which they were not able to because Sanskrit was a difficult language, a tough language then. So they started using the simple language that people use, that was Pali language. However, because there was a split or a difference in opinion between the Buddhist or the Buddhist sect, which led to these two different groups, the Mahayanists started adopting Sanskrit language for writing their scriptures. So this was how the Mahayanist or the Mahayana Buddhism functioned and how they started practicing Buddhism. Now let us look at how the Hinayanists believed and what they followed in coming up with different rules for people. Hinayanists belonged to the original sect. They were the originals of the Buddhism, the Buddhist sect. They looked upon Buddha as a teacher and guide and to follow his simple teachings. So unlike the Mahayanists, the Hinayanists did not consider him as an incarnation of God. They believed that he was a guide, he was a teacher to them who showed them the right path, who showed them the right way of living their life. The Mahayanists considered Buddha as an incarnation of God while the Hinayanists did not. Hinayanists relied on good deeds and a holy life as a means to attain salvation. Unlike Mahayanists who believed that they had to worship, they had to practice different rituals in order to attain salvation, in order to ask for forgiveness for their sins, the Hinayanists relied on good deeds. They believed on karma. They said that you need to have, you need to practice good deeds and lead a holy life in order to attain salvation. The Mahayanists found the concept of nirvana or salvation to be cold and remote. They did not believe in salvation, the idea of salvation or nirvana as much as the Hinayanists did. The Hinayanists had no faith in idol worship. Buddha was represented only through symbols such as pair of footprints or an empty seat, whereas the Mahayanists made idols of Buddha and worshipped it. Hinayanists used Pali language for preaching their faith and for writing their sacred literature, as against Sanskrit, which Mahayanists used in their literature. So there was a major difference between these two sects, which was the usage of language, the way they worshipped Gautama Buddha. So this brought in a difference of opinion in various issues, which however led to a decline in Buddhism. So, just like the Vedic age, just like the Jainism, just like how Jainism saw its decline, Buddhism too had its decline. It was because of the revival of Brahmanical Hinduism. So there were various sages or various philosophers, scholars, just like Sankaracharya or Kumarila Bhatta, who led to the revival of Hinduism or Brahmanical Hinduism. So they established supremacy in Vedic religion. They preached people on how important Vedic religion was and how significant Vedas were during that time. And people started following Brahmanical Hinduism. Loss of royal patronage. So during the period of Gupta Emperor, where Gupta Emperor ruled, where he had his power, it began, or it was a beginning of decline in Buddhism. A lot of followers of Buddha started following Hinduism, Brahmanical Hinduism. They started building beautiful temples, they started practicing all those rituals that the Brahmins would practice. Another reason for decline in Buddhism is split in Buddhism, that is the Mahayanists and the Hinayanists. So this was a major reason why there was a decline in Buddhism. So these two sects that came up because of the difference in opinion had a very huge impact on the people, and therefore people started following Brahmanical Hinduism and they gave up on Buddhism. Corruption in the Buddhist Sangha. So there are a lot of people who joined Buddhist Sangha, the bhikshus and the bhikshunis. But there was a point when they could not follow the disciplined life that Buddha led, or Buddha asked his followers to practice. They could not follow the disciplined life. They moved and they lived in their families, which was not allowed. The missionaries or the followers of Buddha had to follow certain rules, had to have had to give up on their families and to give up on the societal luxuries that they had, the family or whatever they had in their life. They had to give up and then to live an isolated life in the monastery, which some people could not, and therefore they started moving back to their family. Adoption of Sanskrit. Buddhism was one such organization or religion that was against the usage of Sanskrit language. But because there was a split, and since Mahayanists started adopting Sanskrit language, people had its influence and people started reading, people started using scriptures that were written in Sanskrit language. And they started giving more importance to Sanskrit language. The last reason why Buddhism saw its decline is the Turkish invasion. So there were these Mughals who entered India and conquered India and they invaded, they interrupted all the functions that were practiced, all the rituals that were practiced in India. They started destroying all the monuments, they started destroying the temples, they started killing people who followed Buddhism or Brahmanical Hinduism as a whole. They started killing people, they started destroying all the artifacts that represented Hinduism, which ultimately led to a decline in Buddhism. Now students, we have learned about how Buddhism had seen its growth, how Buddhism saw its growth, and there was a rapid growth that was seen due to different reasons, due to a lot of involvement of people, due to a lot of significance that was given to Buddhism. However, because of certain reasons, because of the split in Buddhism, because of the invasion, because of a lot of changes that were brought in, it had to see its decline. Students, in the next video, we will look into the impact of Buddhism on Indian culture and we will compare Jainism and Buddhism. Thank you so much.